So this is the sketch of the future painting, which I'm going to show, present.
Lovely.
It looks too bright. That's the natural color. Yes. So I was doing it for my online classes, plus my adult class, which I teach every Monday, and people really liked it.
Hi, Roberta.
Hi, Roberta. Oh, you see Roberta. Yes. And what I'm saying that every time when I do any lesson, I think about something new, what I'm going to present. Plus, of course, all collected knowledge. This time, I was going to show how to do separately soft and dry edges, because there will be combination of soft and sharp and soft blurry parts. This is Bahong. It's not the best in terms of lifting the painting, but quite good for any other techniques, wet on wet. Yeah, we're thinking about if we would do the sketch in advance, then we would definitely save time and could be painting together. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, that would be fun.
On my lessons, usually I show how to draw the sketch, how to change the reference photo, what to choose from the reference photo, what to move, what to ignore, and so on. And this technique to wet the paper from the back, that's what Michael Solovyov does for his paintings. And honestly, I really like his style, everything what he does. And the brush, by the way, the brushes which he sells, I found on Amazon, and they are quite cheap. They come from China, and I bought these two brushes, and it was about $17 or $20 each. So at least not, no more like 35. And calligraphy brushes and all those flat brushes are my main brushes.
Okay, we're getting everyone joining now.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably start soon as possible with the the show and tell section, because Natalia is going to start the demo at 8:30. So why don't we start? People are still coming in, but who wants to go first? Janice, you're here first. Do you want to show your painting? Do you have anything to talk about or discuss? Or
well, I just did this one this afternoon at Departure Bay. It's a watercolor. I don't know if you can see it. And it's looking down from the top of a hillside. And I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there.
It's beautiful. I love the composition and how soft the sky is, and your focal point is quite well recognizable where you want to focus on. Is it halfway done, or?
It's less than half. It's about a third down from the top.
Mm-hmm. No. I'm saying that have you finished 50% of the painting? Is it finished painting, or you?
I don't know. I don't know really. I didn't know whether actually I might even take that part off. I think I was getting cold and tired near the end here, but I don't know.
See, if you take off the right part, then the composition will be less symmetrical.
Which?
Just my opinion.
Yeah, like that.
it depends what your focus
like this,
is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I don't want to lose that cloud right there.
Oi, no, cloud is perfect.
This one up here.
So beautiful.
Over there.
Yeah.
And I like that cloud, but I could take that tail off there. Maybe.
Okay, welcome Shelley, and welcome Peggy, who have just joined us as well. Greetings from San Miguel, Mexico.
Yeah.
Just for the people who just, we got some more. Just for the people who've just joined, I've just come from Mexico City. I had a very productive meeting with Terelolheo. You can see her name's a bit tricky to pronounce. I struggle with it in the video. I don't know if you saw that, but she was very positive about having us down there next year. It's a very beautiful location. It's Coyoacan. It's in the south part of Mexico City, which is a very huge city. It's almost the size of all of Canada, basically, in terms of population. But they have one of the very few dedicated watercolor galleries in the world there. And it's very easy to reach from the airport, from Mexico City Airport. And she's going to work on getting us some deals for hotels, and we can go on tours. And so it's a great possibility for next year. We can do some plein air painting. It's a beautiful neighborhood, very colonial. I put a video up on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet to show a bit of the gallery and of the area. Very nice location. So yeah, we're going to work on that and have more news for you on that, coming soon. But it will definitely be in February or March of next year. Definitely in the winter months, because that's the time you want to get down here. Because here, as you can see, it's just the colors, it's the colors alone. Just you forget what colors are from being in Canada all winter.
Yeah.
Rub it in.
Yeah, rub it in is right. Yeah, these are the colors right now.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wanted to say our colors now so far still gray.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for the critique. I will do the chop
Sure.
chop and fix it up.
Okay, Roberta, do you have something you want to show?
I didn't really have anything prepared, but I could show that. I could show one of those tree pictures, treed lane. I think screen
Yeah,
share.
there was the one you were working on. That was good.
Yeah, well, I actually, my third one that I didn't like as well as my second one. So I'll show the second one. Let's see. But it's finished. I won't be touching it again, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to screen share.
Oh, here, I'll make you
Oh, I think
spotlight.
I can. No, it says I'm good.
There we go. Okay, now you're in the spotlight. All right.
Okay. That's it. Like I did, I often do multiples, like do it again and again and again. And so this is one that I did as a multiple. Just a second, I gotta close this part because I can't see it. There. And I liked how this one turned out better than I did a third one. I could show you it too, I guess, but my window is kind of stuck to the side here. It's really distracting. But I was trying to get the effect of the sunlight through the trees and showing the path. Kind of, I called it into the light. And just walking from the shadow into the light, and I was fairly happy with it. But the next one I did, I don't know if I'll try and see if I can flick to it. Yeah, the next one, I tilted the trees the other way, those two trees, and it's not as nice. There are things I like about it better, in the sense that like it's quite yellow looking, but I think it really has the brightness that I was looking for. But I think overall, I think this first one is a better picture, just because of those trees leaning the other way. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
We have Shelley Pryor here, who's a real master of composition. Shelley, do you want to make any suggestions for her here?
Can you flip back to the other one again for a second? Yeah, I think I like the contrast. I mean, you've got these nice shadows, and it feels like there's strong sunshine. And the other one, I think the trees seem a little bit on the light side for strong sunlight.
Yeah, maybe they could be darkened a little. That might make the difference in that. I could do that still. I could definitely do that. I felt like the shadows, yeah, everything, like the darks are darker and the lights are lighter in this one. I think that's what I like better. But
what paper was this on?
They're either Arches or Fabriano Artistico. I'm not sure.
Cold press? Cold press?
No. Oh, cold press. Yes, they're both cold press.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't care for hot press.
Neither.
Yeah.
So I
I-
have a
Sorry?
hi.
Hey.
I have, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
It has my. Oops, I hope you can still hear me. I'm
Oh,
doing it.
You're
Take
cutting
that
in and
off.
out a bit.
Oh, first time I've done this on my phone. So, yeah, I have a question about composition. Like in the first one, the two trees on the right side are leaning in, and in the second one, they're leaning out. And I'm always afraid to do that because I think it's going to take people out of the picture. Does anyone have a comment about that?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, I agree.
They should have been leaning in. It was just one of those things when I got, and the second one is a half sheet. The
Mhm.
first one is a smaller one, and I just was doing that, and I did the big one last, but it's,
Mhm.
I just went, got it going the wrong way, and I thought, oh darn, so I just went with it, and I just thought, whatever, just gonna go with it. So I did, and no, it's not as good a composition, I don't think. So
But thank you, because those are little questions we have, and it's nice to get feedback.
Yeah.
I wanted to show you something that's just coincidence. I was doing this composition, very similar subject, the light going through the forest, if you can see it. And I was also doing it with my students. So this is halfway done. And we were also working like with some layers, and thinking about that the light goes from here. We either tried not to put the full amount of paint from the light side, or to lift it after we put the paint. You know, so several things like here, where the light goes through the tree. It's good if you kind of break the edge, because you know, contrast is good to have contrast if it's closer to you. Or for example, you can see quite a contrast in the trees which stay in the full shadow, like this. See this part of the tree. But some trees are very highlighted, like this one, plus the main amount of light goes through this tree. So the layer, it's good to do the first layer on wet paper. So see, it's just still a bit foggy, not full amount of paint. And then the other trees, like this is next close to us trees, we give them little bit more definition, still trying to keep this lightness. And then those which are the closest to us, or those which are in the full shadow, we give them extra layer. It's like third layer after the first main layer. So I don't know if it's just a suggestion, or and also, sorry that I moved to my painting because it's similar subject. But when I looked at it later on, I found that I still left quite a room for the shadows. This is unfinished part. But also I decided that with the next layer, because now it's completely dry, I'm going to give extra shadow on some parts, but it will be very light, almost transparent layer. And also there will not be any highlights like this, sharp highlights in the dark area. So there are single highlights then here, but that's what I'm doing now, masking them, so they are not sparkling white. So contrast is good to have, but in some areas, we try to mute it. Now, if you have critiques about this stage, so it's like The elephant is not done. Here the shadows are not complete, but the background is almost finished. Do you think, guys, that regardless of the reference photo where I have lots of light on the top, would it be good if I mute it, if I put some shadows still? What do you think?
Well, I like using a lot of white myself, so I think it needs to be really, really lightly tinted if you're going to do that, because you're going to lose that purity of light coming through the trees if you dull it down too much.
And I think once you have
know-
once the elephant is
Yeah.
there, it's going to change the whole look of the painting. So it's hard to say right now what
Mhm.
should be done for the background, because the elephant is going to be the center point once you have the contrast.
Right.
That's true.
About white, I wanted to share with you, this year I applied for Canadian Watercolor Society Association, or how they are called, CPSA, and I was not accepted. I don't know which painting they didn't like, because there was a formal answer that if even one is not perfect, then the rest doesn't make sense. I mean, still rejected. But I asked for feedback from one of the person who was a kind of organizer of, I don't know, supporting the collection of the paintings and so on. And he told me the following. He said that there should be no clear white on the paper left. And it shocked me, because I used to leave a lot of light. I like just clear white as a paper. And he said that no, he never leaves anything white. He said it should be muted, it should be turned to some other color, but never white. Janice,
Is this the Canadian Society of Painters in Watercolor?
Yeah,
Yes.
like really?
Okay.
There's
Wow.
books. There's whole books painting with the white of your paper. Like this is one person saying this, and yeah.
It's a bit dogmatic.
And
yeah.
I'm an elected member, and I have in one of my paintings that I submitted, there's white. So it's subjective, and it's one person's opinion. It's not the law.
I hope for so, because I was so confused. I would expect anything to be criticized, but white. That's where we we really tried to keep it as a paper.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you shared that, Natalia, because those are the kinds of things that you hear, and they can stymie, and you get you going off in a different direction from what your passion is. Like Janice is utterly known for the freshness and the whiteness that she leaves, and it's a beautiful genre that, I would hate to hear an artist be influenced by one comment.
Thank you. At least you gave me quite relief, because I was very sad about all that. And white, whatever. So
The symposium for the Canadian Society of Painters in Watercolor is in Saskatchewan this year. So I'm very excited about that, because it's only 4 hours away from me. So I am going for the full 5 days, or it says kind of 6 days, but it looks really good. So maybe some of you will make it down.
What's the date? Do you remember?
It's the I want to say 16th to 21st of July or something like that. I think there's a post in our chat group, and maybe even
Alice Batril posted it.
it's called Open Skies and Wide Spaces or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm going to show you. This is the painting that got me elected. Now I can tell you that
Beautiful.
there's definitely white in this painting.
Yeah.
Okay. The painting that got me elected. And so
I like it very
don't
much.
worry
So
about
thank you, Shelley, because
you're welcome.
I ask another quick question about the Canadian Society of Painters in Watercolor. I think I forget, it was Coral Chen at this end of the world in BC had suggested I join up, but it's not clear to me how. Like, it sounds like there's just a group in Victoria. Ian, oh no, you're from the east. Help! Is there anyone here from the West Coast that might know? What do you?
I'm from Saskatchewan, and I just would say that Tom Young, who's organizing the symposium this year and playing a big part in that anyway, is our Saskatchewan and Manitoba rep. And his suggestion was just join as an associate member first, and then you get invited to their shows and things, and then you can later become an elected member.
Right.
Maybe my fault was, sorry, my mistake was that I applied for elected member, not associate.
Yeah, just go associate first. It's like $40 or something, and then you get
Mhm.
invited to their things and you get a reduced rate.
Mhm.
You know, so I think I paid like $40, and then I got $25 off my registration for the symposium. So
Mhm.
I'm gaining.
Could I
Okay,
just ask
guys?
if I'm
Yeah.
able to share a picture to get feedback quickly?
Let's move it along here because we have to do the demo and everything. So yeah, please go ahead.
All right, just give me a second. While I
I'll
pull
highlight you
it up.
here.
Right.
Anybody else,
One
just before
second.
you start, anybody else who has something to show? Just so we know for our timing here. Okay, just Simone. Okay, that's good. Okay, Simone, go ahead.
Okay, so this actually was a bigger picture. I've cropped it down. My concern with ocean or sea is that I have these waves or lines that go to the edge, and I'm wondering if it takes the eye off of the page, and how could I better deal with that?
Suggestions, anyone?
That was a question. Okay, so I'm going
Yes.
to say right off the bat that the painting is divided by the horizon line, and sometimes one way to kind of resolve that, because obviously you don't want to put a tree or something there, but what you can do is soften, like you see how it's dark at the edges of the water there?
Yeah.
If you soften that edge, that sharp
Okay.
edge at the water's edge,
Okay.
that will help to kind of not make it such a dividing line. Like it'll soften
Okay.
and allow the eye to flow more easily through it.
Okay, so you're suggesting just at the ends, like, or throughout the entire horizon line?
Well, more towards the
To the ends,
right?
edges. Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
whenever you have a very sharp, high contrast or sharp line that goes to the edge of your painting, it's almost like an arrow.
Yeah, well, that's what I realized. I got worried and
So a
wasn't
little
quite sure how
softening is
to
all
deal
it
with
needs.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Same
Um,
thing, I guess, with the waves coming down the page.
they're not as contrasty. One of
Okay.
the other things you might want to try is to add a little bit more color to the cloud there, just to decrease the amount of contrast right at the edges.
Okay,
And
I see
also,
what you're saying.
I completely agree with what was said. You know what little trick you can do, Simone, at the end, close to the horizon, where the clouds go away. You know, they look like the rolls, right? So you could add some very transparent, very little amount, like the roll above the horizon, like just a little bit there and here. And it will also take away the contrast from the horizon line beside of
Right. Yeah.
Lieutenant.
Yep. Okay. Understood. No, those are great tips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I love your sun. It's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
like the style.
And I love your foreground waves a lot, and reflection. They're beautiful.
Yeah, I
This
normally don't
isn't
do.
a pour, is it?
Sorry.
It's not a watercolor pour, is it?
No, it's not.
It almost has a little bit of that pour
Mhm.
quality.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
paper
No.
pour
was that?
quality, not poor. Just
Yeah.
clarify.
I understood.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Simone, was it what paper was that? It looks like fluid, no?
No, I'll tell you what it was. It was cold press. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
I like your style.
Oh, thank you. As I
Okay,
said, it was a bigger picture that I cropped, but that's great feedback and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
okay. Do we have anyone else who wants to show and tell before we start the demo? Hands up, anybody?
What are you working on, Luan?
Oh, some document. Okay, just
Yes, that's right.
all right.
Caught
Since
him
you asked,
sleeping.
so
Yeah, you're in the sleeping in the
that's
back
good
of
one.
class there.
All right. Yeah, I have something to share then. Just since you asked, something I just painted last week. Let me see if I can share screen.
Oh,
Oh,
Nice.
You
beautiful.
see it? Oh, where is it now?
Very nice.
Yeah.
This
Can you see
person
it?
looks familiar. Who's the model?
It's from one of the copyright free on the textiles.
Oh, okay.
So I took that because it's very interesting lights and
Mhm.
shadows. So
Those
and
wonderful colors and the interesting background. Nice. Very nice.
thank you.
Very nice. I
So
like
as
I like the red just under the eye there with the blue on the shoulder. It's a nice pairing there.
Yeah.
Maybe some green.
I like the white too.
Yes.
Ooh,
Um,
good.
Where we see there.
Touche.
Luan, I have a real quick question. When you look at what in your heart do you feel about the painting? Like, do you have some places you're like, or are you satisfied?
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
I always have trouble with the background, and because sometimes I made a wrong decision. Sometimes I paint the background first. Sometimes I paint the background at the end. Depends on the piece I'm dealing with.
Mhm.
And I, if for this piece here, because the face has so much color in there, warmth and some of the green. So if I make the background too colorful, then it takes away, what I'm trying to express on the face. But I leave it for too many of this gray, and I noticed that my last 5 or 6 painting, they all have gray background. I don't know what happened to me. And that's the feeling at the end, though, right? When I paint, I did not even pay attention to that.
Luan,
And
could you just please put up the painting, because then we can see what you're talking about.
okay, I thought am I still sharing or no?
No,
No.
your video is off, so we can't see your painting.
Oh, I need to share again, I guess.
Yeah, we lost it.
Okay, let me take that.
You were there for a minute and then you were gone.
Share screen.
There we go.
There you go. You see it?
Yeah,
Mhm.
we see all the paintings. Yeah.
Well, we see it small, but we see a lot.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
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 And good question though, because lately though I find my last five, 6 pieces, they're all pretty well my average. So it's good and bad. Good as an artist, you know your art is very consistent. It doesn't go like a range of really good one or really bad one, right? But that in terms of I was waiting for some kind of breakthrough. I did not have that, and that's still something that every time I paint, I have to keep in mind, you know, something that I have to strike it, you know, my comfort area or my usual palette or something, right? So that's ongoing testing. But this piece, when I say consistent to my style, or a few things, right? By now you probably see the painting. I hope that you can recognize some nuance. Number one is all my line, all my brush stroke, they are not perfect. I don't have perfect brush, and I can't use perfect brush. I like to use brush that are almost defective, so I can get those zigzag, you know, the kind of effects that I cannot replicate at the end, right? And second thing is, I really like to use the green on certain planes of the face, right? And the particular green I use is a sap green, right? And also all my brush stroke, I also use a lot of broken line. There's no continuous line anywhere in my brush stroke or in my painting. It's all broken because I want to have the painters, the viewers to connect the space in between. But to answer your question, what is it in here? When I researched a lot of photos. My research work actually took more time than the time I paint. I'm kind of fuzzy because if the picture doesn't have the right light and shadow that actually, you know, I can feel the urge that I have to paint it, then I just forget it. I'd rather not to spend my time on it. And so therefore, selection is very important. And when I paint, before I paint, I kind of have an idea of what I'm trying to do, right? But when I actually execute painting, I would not go by rules anymore. I go by, you know, I already have original plan, but I go my intuitive feeling at the time. And you know, maybe right now I'm at a roadblock. As I say, you know, my painting is so consistent. And to Natalie's points too, if you want to get into any society or that, people look for consistency, not necessarily how good those paintings are, how bad the paintings are. They're looking for consistency. They're looking for something that is you. When they see that painting, it's a series of painting of your painting, right? So, and in my case, you know, so I'm a little bit discouraged, but I try to cheer up myself and continue praying, and hopefully that I can get out of this moment a little bit, because I don't see a breakthrough yet. Can I stop saying now? Yeah. Yes.
Sure, up to you. No, I was just going to say that so I'm not a professional artist. So what I say is based on a comment that I received when I struggled with my backgrounds. Can't say I perfected it, but this is a fellow professional artist who said to me, don't think of it as a background, but think of it as part of the painting. And it made sense to me, because I think that's when you tie in more of what's in the face, let's say in your instance, with what's in the background. I do see grays in your face, so I don't think there's a disconnect, but just thought I would share it with you because it made a difference in my mind, at least when I thought about backgrounds, that they're not backgrounds, they're part of the painting. So hope that helps. If it does, good.
Thank you.
And I would just like to say that I think that, like, just the character that portrays, I thought the background was suitable. It was kind of funky, and he looks kind of funky. And I just thought they kind of went together. So I thought it looked good. I liked the splashes in there and the little bits of, you know, it's almost like, you know, a concrete wall that might have nicks and imperfections in it, or plaster or something. But so that's what impressed me, because he's like that, and I felt like the background worked for him.
Thank you.
Well, I can't speak for your other ones, Luan, but for that particular one, his hair being gray and the color being on his face, I think that one suited that gray background, because it didn't make his hair suddenly look completely different, and there was no strong color in the background to compete with those nice colors that were on him.
Oh,
And that one, it certainly worked.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
I
was trying to
I
make
did
it
see that you
not
did
that-
have a little bit of color in there, but it was understated.
are we, Ian, how are we for time? Like,
Well,
Natalia,
we're over our official time, but I think we're somewhat flexible. Natalia, we're flexible. Do you want to do one, Peggy?
oh, no, I just wanted to jump back in on let's circle back what Lon said about when what they're looking for, they are looking for, and even the fact that because there's a recognizable subject that we can say, wow, there's a Lon, gosh, or there's a whatever, a Shelley Pryor, that they will even overlook the amazing brushwork and all the execution of the painting because they're looking for genre. Am I following you here? Like we all esteem something different, and I'm always into just the execution of the brushwork and how confident it looks. But and I'm not dissing. I think I agree that we want to be a recognizable something, but I just hope I'm not hearing that, that.
To Peggy's point though, right? Now this is again my own opinions.
Mhm.
To do any type of painting, doesn't matter what medium it is, right? To control the colors, to have it look alike, or to have a shape, a form, whatever, correct, shadow and everything. Those are easy. The brush stroke is the hardest thing.
Mhm.
And the brush stroke is like every person, when you sign your signature, and that's your own, nobody can replicate that. Right.
Mhm.
So brush strokes. So what is right and what's wrong? There's no what's right is wrong, but there's the confidence in there that Peggy was saying very true. Now, I want to bring to this group here, watercolor specifically, there is an advantage, a slight advantage. I'm not saying anybody here familiar with Sumi painting, Chinese ink painting. The way that we hold the brush is, very disciplined, and the way that we have certain stroke upward or downward or sideways or all that, right? So if you get these practices and you can use that brush stroke technique into the watercolor, then it helps you a lot. But yeah, the brushstroke is the highest thing, the toughest level. So how you get that? No, it's just matter of you develop eventually your own thing, and got to be very confident.
Just lots
It's
of
something that
practice.
it's hardest thing to even teach. You can't can't teach that.
Mhm.
A style.
Yeah, it's the style.
Experience.
I believe that my another error was, if it's an error, I thought that it's good if I would present different things. So I presented portraits, still lifes, a few still lifes, and landscapes, because I really like everything. Maybe I should stuck with something like one theme, or I don't know how to say. One
Subject.
direction.
Yes, that is what they are looking for, is some consistent, and that's what Luan's saying as well, is that they're looking for a theme, basically, of consistent style, but a similar subject matter. When I submitted mine, I had to submit several pieces, and I did all glass. When I did mine.
Now I
So that they
understand.
could see it wasn't a one-hit wonder, basically, right?
So you're not just throwing things at the wall and hoping one of them
No.
will catch their eye, and
No,
I guess that's
the
what they're
buckshot
looking for.
approach isn't that good
Yeah,
for
they're looking at
entering
consistency.
jury.
They want to make
But
sure it
I
wasn't
really
just a
like
fluke.
everything. I don't know how to say that it's inconsistent. If I want to paint everything what I see, I mean, I like to go outside and do plein air. I like portraits and still lifes, and I teach my students everything. So I thought that it's good if I can show different skills. But
Yes.
maybe
No,
about
no.
the style.
Me too.
So-
You can see behind me there's portraits and flowers, and I do all kinds of things. But when you're submitting,
Mm.
they want to know if you have a particular skill set. Like it's not just
And that's the
you're
same
just
thing if you
wandering
want.
around between all these different subjects, that you actually are skilled in one area.
Is it kind of,
Yeah.
and also perhaps the body of work? They want to see a body of work kind of thing?
Yeah, I
What
guess
is-
so.
What is
Yeah.
that body work?
Mhm.
Well, that holds true to any gallery that you approach to. They want
Mhm.
consistency. Right? But I see, again, this is two school of thoughts of everything.
Mhm.
And also maybe some other forum we can discuss, hey, are these so-called society or club, are they good and bad? Are they supporting your to what you want as an objective or not? So
That's
it's not for everyone.
That's right.
Uh,
I mean,
Right.
there's even behind it's the motive why we're doing that, because
Mhm.
we're,
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
accomplished artists, and why are we really wanting to have those letters behind us? And sometimes we're self-challenging ourselves in growth, and other times it's a savvy business move, So there's a lot of different reasons why we're doing it, right?
And by the way, you have to pay a lot more every year for your membership when you're an elected member. You pay a lot more than the regular members.
Yeah.
That's what,
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Michael
in and I
Solovyov
keep
told me
saying,
that.
$35 is pretty cheap.
Oh, I know. I think we're the
Yeah, I
cheapest
think I pay
association there is.
125 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and the
TWS
nicest
was
thing
100, I
about-
think.
The nicest
Maybe-
thing about
maybe-
IWS is it's not exclusive. And I think
That-
that's a really important thing, because there are so many exclusive groups out there. And,
Yes.
for people who are just getting started and just wanting to establish
Yes.
themselves and maybe have some mentorship,
That's right.
from people who are more experienced, you can
Rabienko,
right.
they didn't accept Michael Solovyov several times, and just this year he got accepted. So for me, this tells a lot, because Michael
it's-
Solovyov has everything: style.
That's
class,
why. That's why.
It's
That's why I
subjective.
said.
Yeah.
That's why I say, well, it depends what we want, and these organizations, they meet your need or not, right? For example, some of the society, there are 6 levels of memberships. So to me, by the time you reach to the level 6, you probably need the
You're
little
dead by
rectangular
then.
box. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the same thing is like, well, why do you paint? It's if you can just enjoy the process of painting, it doesn't matter what kind of letters you have by your name. It doesn't even matter if anyone likes your
Yeah.
paintings. If you enjoy it, that's
Yeah.
the first victory right
I'm
there.
glad that Roberta just talk about, and that's our philosophy of this IWS is inclusive.
Yeah,
That is
and
right.
then
Thank you very much.
it's we want people to improve. We want to help people have the tools to get their stuff out there. But it's not about setting a judgment of, unless you're accepted, you're not good enough. It's for me personally, when I first joined IWS, I was entering lots of contests and things, and then finally I thought, where am I going with this? And but I just
very
enjoy
competitive
I just
by
enjoy
nature.
painting. I just enjoy, but probably about 85% of my stuff I never even show anyone. I just do in my little sketchbook, but just the enjoyment of putting the paint down on paper, that's for me the best reward of all.
I've always looked at it as there's always going to be somebody way better than you, and there's always going to be somebody you're better.
Yeah, so
personal thing, and it comes down to just self-challenging yourself. I just want to get better craft that God gave me to develop, right, and be happy. So
and if you're having a good time while painting, then that's I think the greatest victory. It doesn't matter what you win after that.
I do sell my work, and mostly because I'm a prolific painter. I paint lots of paintings every week. I'm working in oil and in watercolor, and I'm just trying to make a business to sell some, because if I can sell them, I love them. I can't keep them all. I can't even possibly ever even display them all. If somebody else wants them, and I want to sell them at a price that shows that they have value. I do give donations and that sort of thing to you know, different silent auctions or whatever are going on in the community. But also for me, then when I'm selling something, for me be able to put on my bio that I have some memberships, it gives me a bit more, I don't know what's the word, credibility, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. A good painting is a good painting. Like, you know, we're getting all these submissions for the exhibition. I don't even read the bios. I just look at the painting, and
Yeah.
you know, if a good painting is a good painting. It doesn't matter where they went to school or what, you know, things they've been in. If it's
I'll
good,
open a
it's
can
good.
of worms then, because apparently the new artificial intelligence can do better than we can.
But the artificial intelligence cannot enjoy the process of painting for you.
Oh,
That's why people have said that to me. Oh, well, I said, well, watercolor, it's one thing that artificial intelligence can't do because it's not digital, it's real paper and paint. So the output, maybe it can make a perfect watercolor painting, but it misses the whole process to get there. It misses the whole
Exactly.
interacting with the paper and the brush and enjoyment of
well, I think the whole artificial intelligence thing is going to make anything done by human hands more valuable.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
going to become that anything that's done by a human is.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
will always be that sector that will just buy the AI generated one because it's cheaper and it's faster.
Yeah, but you're not appealing to them anyways. You know,
Yeah.
they want something cheap and fast. So yeah, it's not going to be a threat.
Yeah, but like there's a human element. When I look at a painting, I'm feeling the person who painted.
Exactly. It's the individuality. You're not looking for perfection.
Right on.
Otherwise,
That's
you just look at a photograph.
like,
So
that's why we rise up against Duclays. Duclays. What a cop.
What about NFTs? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, there's that guy on Instagram.
Crazy.
NFTs.
But Shelley, you're missing out on millions here.
Oh my gosh, they're driving me nuts.
I clicked on the guy's profile. I thought, this
Yeah.
looks like a scam. This looks like just some kind of model pics they found off the internet. This looks
Yeah.
that's one thing I want to do an article about that. We don't have time for it now, but I want to do an in-depth thing about scams that are out there. I want to just create something, maybe a video, just warning people about all the scams that are around. People offering to buy your paintings, people offering all these different things. We recently had somebody trying to become a member who was it didn't sit right, and I did some research, and her whole Facebook profile was copied off of someone else, and she was trying to get the bank information to supposedly send the money. And I thought, whoa, okay, hold on. Let me do my spidey senses tingling here. I did some research, and then I said, okay, well, send us some of your water, because she didn't have any watercolor paintings on her profile. I thought, okay, that's odd. Usually, at least they have some other paintings up. And I said, well, send me some of your watercolor paintings. Okay, I'll send them on Monday. She sends me all these really poor quality oils, and I said, well, I'm sorry, we're a watercolor society. You're not making watercolor, so I don't know what to tell you here.
You know,
said, oh no.
And some of those
They're
are
stolen.
robots. Like, some of those are bots.
Oh, yeah,
They're just made up, or they steal somebody's account.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of so you know, to make a long story, I want to move things along because we've got to get to Natalia's demonstration here. But yeah, I would like to do a thing on that, because I'm sure a lot of us are being targeted with these, and if we've been around, we kind of can identify them pretty quick. But if you're not really schooled in it, and you know, somebody offers to buy your painting for $5,000, you know, you might easily get sucked in by it. Because you might say, oh, wow, here's my chance. You know, here's a great opportunity. This person wants to buy my work for thousands of dollars sight unseen. And I'm going to, I'm going to investigate a bit and find out exactly what the scams are. And so people don't get fooled by these things. So that's for the next magazine or YouTube video. Okay, let's see. Is anybody really dying to show their work quick? We got to get to Natalia's thing. We're over time here.
Hi,
we all
Heather.
good?
You came in late.
Okay, we got Heather here. Heather, did you quick want to show something?
Hi. Yeah, my washing machine is making a lot of noise. That's why I put my sound up. But yeah, I haven't come to one of these meetings yet. But I live in British Columbia, and I've been helping set up a workshop in October in Victoria, British Columbia for Adenar. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
There's your West Coast.
On the West
exactly.
Coast.
Yeah. We have, who is it? Janice is on the West Coast also.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi,
Hey.
you're on the West Coast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Peggy Brokowski.
Oh, Peggy's too,
Oh,
right?
Peggy is too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's gonna be in October in Victoria.
Great.
It's just
Okay.
the-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's just the beginning stages.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll hear about it, and we'll spread it on the email and
Thank
you
you.
know announce it. Celinda sent me a kind of a checklist of all the things going on in the area, and I put it up on the website. Next thing Luan and I have been talking about is redesigning the website because it's quite old and we need to streamline it a bit so it's easier to post things because it's in WordPress, and unless you know WordPress, it's tricky to navigate. So if we get a simpler format like a Wix or a Squarespace, then each of us can post things as we need. So the area reps could have access to it and just go ahead and
Right.
post, because it's a lot for me to kind of manage everything myself. So and Luan has been great.
Yep.
You know, I just want to thank you, Luan. You've been excellent.
Oh,
You've been
yeah.
huge help. That's been wonderful. I couldn't have managed that whole thing without you, especially
Oh,
Well, between the two of you, you're doing a great job.
all the members, all the new members and everything. Oh my God, that was that didn't stop. So I've sort of slowed down now, so it's getting a bit easier now. So now we can actually focus on more interesting things like websites.
for everyone's
for everyone's
everyone's
benefit,
information.
not just bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So
So
okay.
Natalia,
for everyone,
Sorry.
will we be
for
able to
everyone's,
kind of paint along with Natalia? Will we be able to, Natalia?
Yeah,
do you think?
if you like, go ahead, and I'm sure
I
she'd be
might
fine with
try,
that.
but I don't have a sketch ready, but I think I
Oh,
might just.
super. It's good that
follow
you
along.
have sketch, Roberta. By the way, paper is dry now, so I changed my approach.
We went on too long. Sorry, but
Yeah, because soft pages now should be kind of
Okay.
forced to do, but it's all right.
I'll make you in the spotlight here. So take it away.
Mhm. Oh, super. So the painting which I did before, it's not the exact copy of the photo. And while it was drying, I already found that I still left lots of dry edges. So this time I'm trying to be more accurate about where I leave dry edges, or where do I keep the focus. So it should be the bee and probably the petal that goes to the bee here, and maybe just some white edges around, but nothing really too dry. So the paper was wet from the back, and it was able to give me some soft response, I would say. And I was thinking about starting from the background. It's one approach. Another approach is that now I'm going to spread some colors like pink and blue. About the colors, I always tell my students that if they don't have particular color, they can take any color. For example, you can if you don't have blue, like cobalt blue, you can take ultramarine blue for some parts, and it's still all right. And then you can play with greens, adding white, adding yellow to subgreen, or adding blue to subgreen. But subgreen is my main color. But today I have the color which is called May green. So this is yellowish, not yellowish, it's actually a very spring looking green, which I'm going to use today as well. So first what I'm going to do is just adding some blues. These will be shadows. And the brush is halfway dry. And here, sorry, I became so nervous, I realized that now I would better look for your critiques rather than show just the demonstration. Yeah. About the composition on the photo, this area was blurry. There was no flower, and as the result, it was really heavy here and nothing here. So now I'm trying to learn my lesson. Some flowers are important, some less important, and I try to pick up in turn. Pink, which is alizarin crimson, I call it pink because it's called red. So I would put some pink touches, I would say, there and here. See, everything is dry. I don't see the same effect. So I'm trying to use sprinkle bottle, but see that everything, the paint stays where I put it. So nothing is going to be very soft. Picked up a little bit of orange. No, it's failed already. It's already failed because it stays too dry. I wanted some softness in those touches, but now it looks like it doesn't matter. I just have to jump to the background. Okay, let me just jump to the background. And for the background, I will be using that green color, going around that B. So we need to show some backlight and some sharp edges on the closest objects. When the brush is full, better to start from the brightest parts. And when you have leftovers, it's good to move to the softer areas. So it's about negative painting, but I don't want to follow the exact photo. Even if I could stay, I would probably continue working, staying, sitting and seeing everything too close. So this is warm blue, sorry, warm green. Let's see that I'm nervous. And then I will be giving a bit of blue, same blue which I used for the shadows here. I will be adding some of that blue to the bottom area. So it should be a nice balance of warm and cool colors. So I picked up a little bit of blue colors. I can also take a bit of pure blue to some areas. So it's a combination of mixed colors and clean colors. I'm very confident when I paint for the students, but here we have so many experts that I can feel how you love on me. So those edges here, I want to blend them a bit so they don't look too sharp. Peripheral parts. And here I use some green. Added blue. Just every time trying to pick up the different colors. And going down to the bottom, adding more blues, maybe even eliminating this last flower. It was too much of whites left here. Now white looks like some crime for me. And so when the background is almost done, it's good to soften some edges. And to provide some more color to the shadowy parts. Blue and green. Deeper blue here. And connecting with the right part, adding some touches of the same deep blue color again here. And while it's still a bit wet, I can go to the inside parts of the flowers where I have shadow. So it's very light, very soft amount of blue in my watery brush. Brush is really wet now. These brushes, they collect water with time. So it still looks like white flowers, but I'm not going to keep them too sharp. Somewhere blending from inside, just inviting the paint in. And also I want this corner to make a bit brighter. I like to make corners more bright, so it's about like showing the framing in a way. Coming to the B. B doesn't have that much transparency, so we cannot really see the green colors through the wings that much. Okay. Thinking about the light which should come here through the bees parts, I want to lift some paint like this. Okay, so now will be the bee where it has the softest parts. So I will take a smaller brush and we'll go here. I will put some droplets of water because I want to keep white yet. Then I will take light sienna and we'll put some of it here. So those droplets, some of them where I see that it's a solid color, I will turn to the solid spots like this. Somewhere I will keep the highlights. Like here, it's quite a light area on the photo at least. And it's better to wait a little bit and then I will do similar technique with a darker color. So here was also a little bit of soft part of this bee. And while I have this color, I can add it to some parts of the wings, keeping lots of whites on this wing because it was very highlighted, very well highlighted. Plus, because we use this color on some part of the bee, it's good if we can see it on other parts, at least as the first layer, as the underlayer. Then I can move to the body because it also has some reflection, I believe, of the brown here. So I added those colors ahead of time. And of course, I want to see this color somewhere on the background just to connect things together. Same color I can add somewhere on the background. Doesn't matter honestly where exactly, you just have to spread it a little bit in here. Adding more shadows to the flowers. I'm not too detailed. I'm not going to show all the flowers the way they are with all particular folds, because they are not the focal point here. I just want to touch the paper several times where the paper has different stage of humidity. Yeah. And also, working on those parts, I would also like to make them a bit different, softer, sharper, warmer, or brighter, warmer, cooler. I picked up orange now. Can give, oh, it's not even orange, it's red and orange, which is also good. Still very wet. So that technique which I wanted to use here now, not the best thing to do. But what I can do, I can paint the wings with burnt sienna, or if you have quinacridone sienna. Oops. Just see. There were a few parts with very bright colors on the wings and on the legs. Maybe that's too much. But it would not go that far. When I'm lost, when I want to compare everything, I just have to squint the eyes to see if everything goes like one composition, not just patches. Of course, I'm going to connect all these things later. Also, I want to give a little bit of brighter pink, alizarin crimson, or maybe Perlin violet here would be better. If there is a hidden under the wing, we have here the leg. So some parts should be done on still wet paper, the others will wait for their turn when the paper is less wet. All right. Quinacridone sienna. Quinacridone sienna yet here, but because it will be then connected with indigo. And having quinacridone sienna, I'm just picking up with the same brush a little bit of sub green. It gives me very nice warm brownish green. Some lifting. Maybe better to take another brush this one. Bahon doesn't like lifting that much. It would be good to have some, because we don't need to keep always very sharp white. And there is not that much sharp white, if any. So lifting sometimes helps to create something more soft. And I see that the paint became too light around my bee. So giving a little more of dark greens there. Okay, so go back to the bee now. Maybe this time I'll just take this. So this is indigo blue. And this is quite sharp area, this part of the bee. Not very solid in line. So I would say that it's also different. Quite a highlight here. Blending a bit. Blending here. And then I can take again this quinacridone sienna and add it to my blue, because some parts were here more brownish rather than bluish. So I'm trying to make this soft transition from warm colors to cool. Negative painting, creating those here parts. And back to indigo. Giving more definition to the body. And connecting parts together. Still wet. Don't need that much. Trying to test this area, how wet it is. Not still really wet. Trying to dry the brush here, usually where it collects the water in the beginning. And that's where you have to control it, because you think that you took not too much water, but the water comes from the top down. Why I'm jumping from area to area, because I have to see where the paper is wet or dry, so where can I get just the right time to add any touch. So here we can see the body, and it's not that bright color if it, as it was before. With more water on the brush than paint. Also here was on the leg under the wing. Lost white. It's too fast. Of course, it should be done a bit slower. Because there are some stages when it's good to wait. Now, either I had to use the fan hair dryer or wait. Brown and indigo blue, giving more details so that the bee should pop out from the background. It would be much easier if the paper would be still wet as I planned, because when I spread it on the bottle, I lost the control. Okay, I'm almost done because I don't want to keep you too long. Here, it's more about the technique rather than about the whole painting. Because with my students, we did it during 2 hours, but sketch including. And there was more time for me to dry my work while I was checking others. So here it's definitely needs some time to dry. And meanwhile, we can give some touch to other areas. Nothing should be sharp here anyway. Because it's a nature outside. Tiny brush. And some lines. Some details around the object. Flower buds. Lines, like not petals, just some abstract lines. I'm not going to follow the exact photo. And also for the composition, while nothing is growing here, I can give something in the same color, pretending that there was something growing in that area. A little bit of blue to give deeper shadows to some parts. So this brush can be also used with the tip of the brush or with the side of the brushes of the brush when you need larger brush strokes. And the green should be working as an underlayer here. It's not the color on the body, but it could be the reflections of surroundings on those wings and body. If the body is glossy, and wings are also. But when we work with a shadow, I usually use any colors from the palette. I can mix them in different combinations. Therefore, I'm just connecting things. And you can see that in the shadow can be a little bit of blue or green, or even perlin red. The veins, the wings. And the bee, I would say that it's done on this stage. So what can be added? More shadows around, more definition to the flowers if needed. I just don't think that I have to do this right now. And also what we can do, we can scratch some white lines if we lost them. I use just the same brush. And it's not only scratching the white lines, the brush will also pick up the darker color and it can be used as the hair. I'm done. I don't want to take more of your time.
Okay, thank you, Natalia. Wonderful demo. It looks beautiful. Anybody have any questions for her or anything they want to add before we end the meeting?
Critiques, please.
Any critiques? Well, I can start here. I think the contrast is very good. You have a nice blurred background, so that really brings the attention to the bee in the foreground. The orange contrasted with the green in the background brings it out as well. I find the flowers help guide your eye towards the main subject. So good contrast, good color balance, high detail on the head of the bee, just overall nice arrangement. So thank you, Natalia. Anyone else have any suggestions or questions or comments?
Beautiful painting. Yeah, it's beautiful painting.
Yeah, very nice. Very, yeah.
I don't know. I think I see some white in there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Shirley, I was waiting for you. I was
Lovely.
waiting for you.
Into the garbage.
Yes, it's gonna go to the garbage anyway, you know. I throw so many paintings, and this is very fast painting, as you see. Honestly, hair dryer should be used if you do this demo and trying to put everything in half an hour. I just wanted to show the technique, and of course, it's not what I use for my paintings. It's just for the lessons, and most of my paintings from the lessons they go straight to the garbage, because I could be very good in what I just created, but when I show the students, online students, what they have to fix, I usually go through my own painting and just seeing, and I can touch the same spot, just showing it for the person. And at the end, I have just something muddy.
Very good.
Can you show me your left hand and see how many fingers you actually have paint on it?
Say it again, Lord.
It is a beautiful watercolor. This is water. And I really like the unpainted white pieces. God forbid. No, the freshness. And when I look at that, that's watercolor, and it's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Very
It
nice.
looks dark in the camera. I will take photo and we'll send it to the chat.
And this is also being recorded, so I'll put this up on YouTube when it's done. Oh, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. It's getting late here, so.
I have a
But,
paint along, but it's very, very wet. So
Oh, show it, Roberta.
I kind of went along, but I was really rushing. So I don't know if you can see it.
Can you spotlight her, Ian?
Yep.
Da-da-da.
Oh,
I have
wow.
to take just a second. I have to take my background blur off. That's why it's doing that.
Yeah.
Good.
There. It's
Oh, yes.
So you can see what was done before and what was created here. Oops, sorry. There was more control on some areas, like highlights, but same time, now I will soften lots of those whites, not because of the white, but because of the sharp edges, too many sharp edges.
Hard edges. Mhm.
Sharp edges, yes. Even now, see, I just want to go through it with a wet brush, because they look too much. I mean, they compete with the sharp highlights on the bee body and area. So this part can be left, but away from the bee. Better to mask it, just to hide it a bit. See, like this. Shaylee, what do you think? Say me the
Beautiful.
truth.
Yeah. I like the contrast of edges, that you've got the soft and the crisp.
I was so nervous. I have a headache now. Feel like exam.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peggy.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Any more? Okay, if we don't have any more, we can sign off then. And thank you again, Natalia, for this demo. We'll
Thank
do another
you.
one of these next month for
you.
sure. This is a good way to check in and keep people connected and see people in real life instead of just posts on Facebook and on the internet. It's good to
Wish me good
connect
luck
with people
tomorrow,
directly.
please.
Good luck.
I need good luck with Toronto Watercolor Society. They open the exhibition tomorrow, and I'm newbie
Oh, yeah.
there, so
Activated.
I'm bringing my 2 paintings
Mhm.
and going to help with organizing everything. So hopefully
great.
I will not be there. Like,
I'm sure you'll do fine.
good.
Okay.
Hey,
Thank you, everyone.
you.
See you next time. Thank you, Natalia. And
Thank
yeah,
you, Jan. Yes.
thank you, and have a good night.
Thanks.
Enjoy it there.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Yes.